Okay, so the context, all right? So in Twitch poll, all right, in Twitch poll, Beckett has been a prominent member of Twitch poll, okay? However, now Beckett has associated himself with the he has associated himself with the commentary community. All right. At some point, he made a transition completely over to commentary. I've criticized this particular YouTuber before, for being two-faced, and I think also for his behavior involving his online relationship with his ex-girlfriend Stardust, who was also previously a Destiny Orbiter and a Twitch poll participant. So here we have Beckett openly admit at some point, okay, I promise this is all going to come together. Brianna Wu has infiltrated the space, made her way into Destiny's orbit, and started paying content creators on a paycheck um, in order to make content for Progressive Victory and to attend weekly Progressive Victory meetings. Basically, every week they would get around $1,000. Okay, so every content creator would get $1,000, and I would then say that in addition to $1,000, um, some people got even more, right? So some people like Counterpoints got $2,000. Some people like Wick got $2,000. And please note that these people were actually the closest in terms of relationship to Brianna Wu. These are all content creators, by the way, closest in relationship to Brianna Wu at the time. Now, back then, this was especially a big drama topic. Why was this a big drama topic? Was because at some point, people began to ask questions. Hey, why aren't you disclosing how much money you're making from Progressive Victory? Hey, why aren't you disclosing whether or not your biases are influenced by Progressive Victory? Hey, what if you have to go against Progressive Victory one day, but then you're on the payroll? Like, would you say that you're still like gonna have your original opinions or not? So these are very valid concerns to have. Now, there was a group of people who made these concerns the most audible. These included the commentary people, Queeman, Reservoir, and Beckett, and so and so. Okay, there's a lot more. All right. However, I would say that Beckett, especially, was one of them. All right. However, now what happened is that now it's been revealed recently. It's been revealed recently that and Brianna Wu would blacklist people like you exactly out of collaborations. Yes, and I do recall her blacklisting me of some kind. Okay, some kind of blacklist. I forgot. All right. Anyway, the point is this. Okay, the point is this: is that um Beckett revealed that his channel has been offered $500 to produce a Demon Mama hit piece, especially by his channel co-owner named Jenny Matrix, who is on really good terms with Brianna Wu. In fact, they are close personal friends. So Jenny Matrix would, in fact, make this hit piece, all right, cash in the check. However, Beckett would distance himself away, all right. The way that Beckett is framing it, right, the co-owner of this channel, he would frame it as, oh, it's not me getting paid by the $500, it's the channel getting paid $500. However, I would then argue that the exposure and the work that Jenny Matrix has done on behalf of Brianna Wu contributes towards you indirectly, because when you make a stream or when you make a video, these things are in consideration of your business co-owner, if that makes sense, right? It is still in consideration of your co-owner who is under Brianna Wu as a contract worker. Do we know who offered the $500 payment? Indeed, it is Brianna Wu. It's Brianna Wu. So, before we begin, covering this topic as like just a kind of beginning kind of topic, allow me to play this quick clip, and yeah, let's just see how this plays out. Okay. All right, here we go.
Hold on. We'd already made the video.
By that dumb
So this So this specific stream was made yesterday, all right, in a now deleted stream by Beckett. So you're seeing Beckett right now, okay? And Beckett here, while he is on tons and tons of alcohol, he got drunk and admitted some things that he really shouldn't have admitted, right? So here we go. We don't know if it's for the channel or the individual unless we have a W-2, no, or a 1099 NAC. Here's what I assume, and this is the most charitable way I can assume based off of what Beckett has already revealed, is that the channel probably got like a paid contract or some kind of, you know, indirect payment to the business. Jenny Matrix got all the money. However, Beckett is still the co-owner of the channel, even though he did not get any money from that contract, if that makes sense. So I guess what I'm saying is this, is that Beckett still has to make content directly in consideration of his co-owner's contract, if that makes sense, right? Hello, Jojo. Hello. So yes, let's begin. And yeah, let's take a look at what Beckett said last night in this deleted segment. All right. 1099 NEC. Well, I mean, it doesn't even have to be. It could just be a like a Venmo, right? If that makes sense.
Hold on. We'd already made the
got
video.
paid by that dumb bitch.
And when we got paid by Brianna, she offered a tip, like a donation.
How much?
I think it was like 500. I'd have
You
to
sold your soul to Brianna Wu for
No. She offered more, and I killed all future projects because we actually had an entire series planned on the leftist contingent of Twitch. Brianna, absolutely, those signal chats with Keffels, where she's like, oh, I want to give money for this. She was absolutely doing that to multiple channels because she did it to us. So,
but how much do I get for 600?
Absolutely. The only reason that I held back on this is because Jenny and Brianna were still cool, and they're not anymore.
Like,
well, this is the insane thing. We were going after Demon Mama anyway.
Yeah.
But she wanted to pay afterwards, and then wanted us to go after people like President Sunday.
Wow. Fucking Christ.
Wow, I guess there really is a deep state in content.
So there you go. That is the context of the whole drama. All right. And just know this. Present Sunday was also offered a bounty. Okay. So there was a bounty placed on Present Sunday because Brianna Wu hated Present Sunday so much. The bounty on Present Sunday is also $500, in which Present Sunday obviously took offense to because he's an egomaniac. Right. So now let us observe this. All right. So here's the thing. It doesn't matter if it's a tip, right? Because now you're making videos with the mind that later and later on, maybe you'll get more and more tips with the promise of these so-called tips. And let's just not call it a tip. I don't think we can call it a tip, okay? I think we should call it a bounty payment, okay? That's what we should call it, all right? It's not a tip, it's a bounty payment, all right? Okay. Is paying Beckett $500 to tarnish Dima a good return on investment? How much influence does Beckett have? Okay, Beckett has significant influence in the commentary space. But that influence isn't why they made the video. The video was made just probably so Brianna Wu can have a video to refer back to in every single public conversation, right? Is probably what I'm getting at. It's probably, this is my guess. This is just my guess, okay? So, you know, that's about it, all right? Now, with that being said, Brianna Wu is officially onto her next grift. So she's no longer in this space because she has moved on. All right. Now, with that being said, she's also moved on from Destiny, by the way, mostly. So now let's take a look at Reservoir, because he's an interesting case because Reservoir was one of Beckett's partners in crime in regards to this. Okay. What's Brianna Wu doing now? The entire point is that Brianna Wu was paying content creators in the background to make hit piece videos on other content creators. However, Beckett, one of the people who is very critical of Brianna Wu and very critical of her canvassing organization, was actually being paid in the background by her. So it is a direct hypocrisy. It is a direct trader behavior, basically, is I guess is what I'm getting at, okay? And while Beckett admits wrong, I don't think he is as far to go that he isn't benefiting off of something like this, or he's not biased by something like this. Anyway, let's go.
Kind of like support production.
So again, this is Reservoir, all right, talking to Beckett about this entire scandal. All right. Is there any questions? Is everybody clear on what's happening? Yeah. What does Kui have to do with this? Not that much, okay? Queeman doesn't have much to do with this situation. It's just that Queeman, back then, criticized anyone who is even loosely associated with Progressive Victory. However, now, when one of his former cohorts, one of the content creators who was associated with him was recently exposed as somebody who was associated with Progressive Victory very secretly, well, now suddenly Queeman doesn't care. So that's his relation to this, is that I guess it's not reciprocated energy, or rather the energy is hypocritical.
Okay. But the video was already researched and kind of like
you didn't have communication with her. Like Jenny had communication with her before because they were like actually just friends. We found that out from the group chat leaks on Sunday.
When did this all come out? Last night. So Beckett got drunk and he revealed all of this himself. Nobody exposed him. He exposed himself because he was drunk. Like a retard.
Long before that, right? But yeah, like, so what it comes down to was with that
I know,
one,
that's crazy.
Like,
yes.
She wasn't like saying, hey, you know, good job, or you
why
gonna
don't
do
you
more
make
like
a video
this?
it was basically oh, so you're doing video on Demon Mama and you're considering videos on other people. Well, here's some money for the Demon Mama video, and if you do more, like I can support the production for those.
I get it. Yeah, it's the Brianna Wu, like, that's obviously it's the fucking Oilers sugar, like, oh, I like this content. Keep doing
Brianna Wu.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
Sorry.
That's fine. You didn't end up continuing to do that. You're saying it doesn't affect your channel stuff. You're saying there was like a secondary contract that was aside from the channel. There's like another business. How are you entangled within that business?
So I'm not. In like, so generally speaking, and I think we're pretty transparent about this. Generally, people have come to us all through 2024 for work of, I'm looking into this drama topic. Can we just commission you? So I've got like.
Is Jenny just his business partner and friend? Okay, is what I'm assuming. However, I've got some people wondering whether or not they were actually in a secret relationship. All right, especially when Beckett was the supposed boyfriend of Stardust, the former Destiny Orbiter Stardust. Yeah.
A host of creators who we worked with who I'd never mention.
Sure.
And generally speaking, we don't cover the content that other people have paid us to do that work for, because I think that's a little unethical.
However, I want to clarify that is speculation. That is speculation. And you should not spread it around, okay?
So how is this separate from the channel?
Well, the channel just sort of, as you'll probably notice, it's mostly just me on the channel, right?
Yeah.
So...
And I know that you always claim you don't take money from it. So where does the channel money go?
So the channel money goes in two directions. Firstly, 30% of everything the channel makes goes to Max, the editor.
Yeah, Striker.
And then the other half goes to Jenny. And then that money is generally reinvested into the channel for things like equipment, or if we need to commission something, occasionally I'll put a bounty out because like I want to find some obscure piece of media, that kind of stuff.
Can I ask what work Jenny does for the channel that I think would justify that money? I'm assuming that she does.
She does the back end because I don't want to deal with it and the paperwork and all the other stuff.
What does back end mean?
Well, stuff like...
I assume they were married this whole time. Beckett is single. He is now single because he and Stardust broke up.
Paying,
don't worry
making
about
sure
it.
like
Okay?
people
Ask away.
Are paid if they need to be paid for something like a commission. Making sure that kind of that's all organized, so I don't have to think about any of the taxes or anything, because I'm not making any money from it. It's not my my name's actually not on the channel or the business or anything else. because I just want to sit and make things.
Okay. So does she help with like research that you do?
She used to do a lot more, less so these days.
Okay.
Right. So mostly, like, you can look at like the ACC stuff, for example. I don't think Jenny's ever really done any work with ACC stuff that's ever been presented on the channel. That's all me. And like, there's a couple of things, like, so for instance, like, there's the Tiger. We did like streams on Tiger, and that was
30% to editor, 50% to Jenny, 20% I assume to Beckett. Yes, that's what I'm also assuming, right? That sounds like she's primary owner and he has a stake. Yeah. Yeah.
Bungo
like
Tiger?
research work. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Jenny did the research work for that, and then I presented that. But like over time.
Now, the real question is, okay, now for people who don't know, and, you know, obviously, I'm going to explain to everyone and give everyone the background information here, okay? The channel itself, most of the time when they're streaming, do you know who is on the front page the vast majority of the time? In fact, almost all the time? Beckett. So Beckett is the only face that you'll see. Jenny almost never appears in videos, never appears in streams, never appears anywhere, okay? Does not appear in any of the content, okay? Most of the time, all right? So let's be very clear here, okay? Why is it a 50% cut is justified to Jenny when Beckett is the front face of the channel, right? Now, that is my question. Now, here's the thing. There could be an entirely benign answer, all right? For example, maybe Jenny does the vast majority of the work, right? Because 90% of the work is done privately, right? As many people say. But yeah, that's about it.
It's largely just like me. So like the jar video is entirely me. Jenny wasn't involved in the jar video or like City Barrel, stuff like that.
Okay. Fair enough. Who were people who asked you about targeting? Do you have like a full list of that? I'm assuming
I don't have a
time.
I don't have a list because it wasn't. It was generally like
I
and
love
Jenny
tea.
just like the same fucking people.
I love
because what's a good way to put this? We all saw the group chat leaks.
Sorry.
And Wu hated quite a lot of the people who sort of hated her. Jenny also did not like those people. There's a couple of people in that group, so I did not like. So, for example, Dean Mama. And then there were people in that group who I, quite like Sunday.
Yeah. What about like somebody like Frogan?
I don't know what Wu's opinions are around Frogan. I have no fucking idea, is the truth. I imagine she's not a fan, though. I was looking at some of the timeline, and I know because the only kind of like outstanding thing is like the Trashfire Tales podcast episode with Frogan.
Okay.
Where we're talking a lot about her tweet history and things. Now, I want to be clear. I wanted to do that content because I like shitting on Frogan.
Yeah, sure.
But F-Bombs has been DMing me back and forth, which is fine. I understand like why he's like. I guess like
I agree,
doing
Demos.
his F-bomb things. I have no issue with that. But it's like, so my only conversation with Wu ever was about a week before the now recording stream where she comes on, and then that now recording stream. Those are my only actual interactions with Wu. I think there might be a DM somewhere, but that's it. So yeah, because other than that, I was just like, well.
Chop's opinions on Frogan. She's not even worth it to shine my shoes. She is a subhuman animal that is designed to be in the dirt. Okay.
You were aware, like Wu and Jenny entered into this other contract through a business not affiliated with the YouTube, right?
Yeah. So my line for this was we're not a political channel.
Yeah.
So whatever you're looking at is nothing to fucking do with the channel or the content we're putting up. And yeah, it was just sort of just a research contract as far as I saw it.
How is this I guess like the question is like I think that if you're saying this was in excess of like £5,000, like that seems like a significant amount of money, that Jenny's getting. right? Which is probably going to flavor a bit of what you do.
Well, why would it?
Whoa, let's repeat that. That was a good question. That was a good question.
I mean, if you're saying this was in excess of like 5,000 pounds, like that seems.
Wait, is it 500 pounds or is it 5,000 pounds? There's a big difference between these two. What's with the five? Where did the 5,000 pounds come from? Wait, was it a lot more than I thought? That's a lot of fucking money.
Seems like a significant amount of money, you know, that Jenny's getting, right? Which is probably going to flavor a bit of what you do.
Well, why would it flavor what I do?
The hell?
I don't know. I'm assuming like $5,000 is like, I don't know. That's like a lot of money, I feel.
It might
like,
flavor what Jenny was.
So he didn't misspeak. It's $5,000, but $5,000 for what? Is it $5,000 in total over the course of the entire channel runtime, or is it $5,000 for one video, or is it $5,000 over several videos? What's going on here?
It doesn't impact me, and so I've
Likely
never signed
story.
an NDA with the pack or anything else, and that was kept very separate from me because I want nothing to fucking do with that.
Yeah.
I don't know how it could.
I want to be very clear, okay? All right, it doesn't matter if Beckett is not getting a share of the money. And frankly, it would have been better if he got a share of the money, okay? He has been creating content this entire time with the mind that somebody who is very close to him is receiving a fuck ton of money, in which a lot of the money is going back into reinvesting into the channel, if that makes sense. So it indirectly benefits him in the major way. Right? It still indirectly benefits him in a major way, probably even in an even more tangible way than getting a direct cash payment, right?
Really flavor what I'm doing, because at the same time,
just the idea that you would give a shit about your friend, wouldn't want to fuck them out of a job.
Exactly.
Well, so that's
question.
interesting. So the comment of like I eased up on Woo, I should clarify this because I know that can seem a bit clear. You can go through my stream content and see me.
No. 5,000 is not chump change, okay? Okay, I don't know which mention you come from, all right? But here, okay, 5,000, I could really use that 5,000 too, okay?
Shitting on Woo while they were like friendly and winged each other. What I stopped doing was taking random pot shots at Woo. So what I used to do.
How much to make a hit piece on Buko and Egghead Food? $20.
Quite a lot on stream was be like,
that's a joke.
Something would be like being said and I'd be like, oh, and then there's Woo who's like a fucking degenerate snake, and Jenny was like, hey, she's my friend, and she clicks on one of the streams or something and it's like, well, this is your channel, and the person who's like talking on it is taking like random shots, that might be a bit shitty. And I was like, that's fair. At the time there was like Jenny and Sunday had like a lot of animosity. And I was like, well, the compromise is don't take random shots at Sunday then. We'll do it that way. Because then I don't have to sort of explain to...
By the way, I have no problem with somebody paying a bounty for your videos. Okay? But make it clear to the public. Make it clear to your audience if you're receiving a paycheck. Right? Make it clear.
Sunday at any point, like why... the person who I've got like a channel with, and something asked about this at one point, like a long time ago, but it's like, yeah.
The part about this is bad is when you're hiding it, okay? The deliberate hiding of it.
Sunday and I are friends, working directly on a channel with somebody who's like taking a load of shots that you can be a bit uncomfortable. I get that. So I thought that was a fair compromise. But I still covered Woo when she like fought with Queeman, for example.
Yeah, fair enough. So okay, so you realize like how what you just said to me very much makes it sound like Woo started paying a close friend of yours and you stopped taking pot shots at Woo.
Well, I actually think that happened before Woo paid us.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
And I
but
say
like, is it before like, but before, was this after Woo kind of insinuated towards these things?
Jojo's right. Exactly. The issue isn't being paid. It's about genuineness.
Right.
That's right.
What do you mean?
Like, was this after like I assume you had the $500 donation conversation with Woo. If you keep doing this, there's gonna be more money there. And then
Mhm.
I'm assuming the pot shots conversation happened after that one, right?
Long after. I mean, that pot shots conversation was probably late April.
Okay, so was that previous to Jenny being brought on as what it sounds like a researcher in April 2024 for Woo? I might be getting the dates
Yes,
wrong.
again, like I like this is me from memory, but yes,
Yeah.
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like really sketchy to me.
Why?
It seems like there is a time.
Well, it's not like it's
know
not
what I
like my
mean.
core content, is it?
Well, no,
Well,
it's not your core
I'd
content.
understand if I was like,
You know, I am actually glad that Reservoir is asking the right questions. And honestly, the reason why I'm glad is because so far, Queeman has expressed no interest in this, okay, which is hypocritical. By the way, again, this is hypocritical. I want to clarify very closely, this is hypocritical, okay? This is not him not caring about an issue. This is not him, you know, whatever like that, right? The fact that he's not reciprocating this kind of energy, right, that he had for other people associated with PV back then is hypocritical, okay?
okay, if I was providing like positive coverage in any way to Woo,
Yeah.
while covering the political scene, that would be one thing, but that never happened.
But she's like a
Yeah, you
horrific
should have asked
human
that,
being
John.
who abuses people too, right?
Sure.
So it's like, ostensibly, you could just cover Woo's like abuses of people, which, from what it sounds like, you're working on a video you're releasing in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. We'll like put something together.
Yeah, like you're putting something. Yeah, you're putting something together. The question is like, I want to yell at you for getting drunk on stream. If I'm going to be honest with you, I want to do all that, but I want to go through a little bit of this. You do realize, like what you're saying, it definitely makes it sound as if Jenny pressed you on a conversation shortly before or shortly after she started receiving money as a researcher for Woo, which then resulted in you making less pot shots at Woo as a formative conversation.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I was in the political sphere doing this content and you've looked through my streams.
Not a good excuse. Not a good excuse. He does discourse. He does discourse content, okay? It doesn't matter. People switch back and forth from drama to politics all the fucking time. And as far as I'm concerned, Brianna Wu is not just a politics person. Brianna Wu, in almost every way, in most of the ways actually, I would argue that she is a drama person more than she is a politics person. So, yeah, you know, GG.
I understand that criticism a bit more, but I didn't do that. I didn't like try and in the now recording stream, like Woo comes on and gets
Woo
fucking
looks like shit
torn.
on it. She looks terrible.
I
don't
asshole.
disagree.
So I wasn't like fucking defending her.
No,
I didn't
don't
like try and stop that content, and nor did I try and like sweep for
It
her at
doesn't
any point
matter.
afterwards. I literally kept her there at the beginning of the stream.
Doesn't matter.
So that Mudahar, Keem, and Dioria could get on.
Yeah, and that's sure. You know, and I heard a little bit of something about like some chud press back then. Whatever. I don't care as much about that. I guess like what I'm just trying to say is, again, it's more of like a give me one sec.
Oh my God.
Thinking. All right, because I'm just like I'm processing because I was very ready for a lot of other things, but you went ahead. I don't no, I want to like I actually want to like kind of yell at you as a person. Just generally, why the fuck you're working on a fucking video, you drop all this shit, and I feel like what it is
I guess she sees herself as more of a politics person. Yeah, sure. Fine. Yeah, sure. Yeah. She sees herself that way, but she loves drama.
it's like
okay.
I'm working on this like, you know, thing where I'm like, hey, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what's going on, but you caused this like whole thing to get a little bit weird, and like you're just telling us, oh, wait 2 weeks, guys, and we'll have a video out. You realize like I'm a little like on a personal level, I've got to be like, what? Why is this like what is happening today on the day of the you know, the content deputy, of Mama Max returning, of all these other things? Like we're finally out of content route. I know you
Well,
didn't
I
time
mean,
it,
again,
but like,
like, actually, I mean,
I'm,
I
I'm,
was, 'cause
I'm legitimately
the-
confused why this happened. I watched the elongated clip that Haas sent me. You're not talking about shit, and you just are like, by the way, Wu fucked us
What,
over on some money
Infrahaas?
and shit, bruv. Like that was a thing I watched.
Okay, so
you know?
okay. I was already kind of at this point, so you can like I'm on Just Ilks, not just last
Oh
night,
my
but the night
God.
before, and like
Mhm.
Just Ilk talks in that conversation about the fact that I was already talking about this
Mhm.
and how much I wanted to get this out because to an extent I've sort of been waiting for like Wu's relationship with Jenny to break down completely for the last like ever, because that was
I
obviously
won't
gonna
disagree.
But that's part of it, isn't it? Right? Isn't that literally part of it? Is that you've been waiting for you've been literally waiting for Wu's relationship to break down with Jenny Matrix, right? Your co-owner. Right? The fact that you're even waiting shows that you're well aware and you're cognizant of the monetary financial relationship type shit, right?
Yeah, I said the same thing to
Um,
Jenny right after the group chat
Like the
leaks.
fact
I
that you
recall
even
that too.
admitted that.
You know,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know she was getting paid by fucking Wu. That's also like that's on me to begin with. You know, I think there are a lot of people that are just gonna be like, well, you're kind of getting paid by a kind of political PAC not Jenny.
Well, yeah, okay, you can, okay,
Right.
sure, but like, what's a good way to put this?
There's no good way to put this.
You can
You're
be
cooked.
critical of that, but at the time when that started, Jenny had pretty much stepped back from the channel, right?
Mhm.
Like Jenny just wasn't around. She wasn't on stream.
She wasn't on
doing videos.
well, yeah, she wasn't on stream, but like, so she was just doing, and like you're saying, she wasn't doing research aside from a few things. Okay, that's fine. But like, I mean, Jenny is again, your good friend, right?
Sure.
She is getting a substantial amount of money from this schizophrenic political actor who is doing the sort of stuff that you and I would morally be extremely unokay with, which includes doxing, harassment, all sorts of other like vitriol direction and whatnot.
True.
Right?
All true.
Fucking lost my fucking point halfway through there.
Yeah, bitch. Sorry. My bad. I need to be more kind.
It just,
okay?
again, it just gets into this like kind of, it does feel that it's hard to say, yeah, it probably is Brianna wanting to do
But isn't that just like, isn't
fucking Dio coming in. All right.
Hamasabi, I got owned but I won the debate. Piker.
True. Dio, thank you for the $2. I really appreciate it, buddy. Okay. Fucking W, okay? Wait, hold on. I can do the different hearts now, okay? Wait, hold on. Is it like this? Would you how do you do it? Is it it's like this, right? Like this? Is this how you do the heart? This, right? This, and that's it. I don't know, dude. Okay, whatever. You know, I'll just keep practicing every single time a super chat comes in.
this is just a criticism then of Jenny's friendship with Brianna, which has been public for years.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the whole benefit.
It doesn't
The whole
matter.
thing
It
is,
doesn't
though, is like why
matter.
we criticize those things is because of the benefit, and so because that benefit gives us a bias that makes us not do things.
Right.
So it's the question of, I can talk to you and say, oh no, I know, and I know Beckett. I love Beckett, obviously. Like, I've known you for a long while. And I have to say to myself, like,
I lost
when
what
when we're
Hello?
here with Jenny, who I also care deeply for. Fuck, man. Oh my god, I'm like losing my fucking thoughts on this.
Take time. It's no rush.
I know. I guess like the big issue that I'm like trying to say here is, I feel.
You
on
feel
a personal level, I don't know why the fuck you're
personal
shooting off
level.
about this shit when you're saying you're gonna make a video, because it kind of does make it look like this is a veiled political donation going after people who are ostensibly political enemies of Brianna Wu's project. She is with Rebellion PAC. I personally believe she's in with other shady money groups due to the Hanania connections and some other shit that is going on.
Hanania connections.
I think it's like hard to say that there isn't like a secondary political sub vibe that is then tied in with your personal with Jenny because of the possible benefit for Jenny financially.
Oh.
If the
It's
channel
like,
there's
it's like
some
there's
good
like a
hands.
multi-layer
hold on.
pressuring, right?
But
That's what I'm trying to say.
If the channel was doing political stuff, I'd agree with you, but it wasn't. If
Yeah,
the
but
criticism is that Jenny, no, hold on. If the criticism is that Jenny did work with Wu, I mean, you can criticize Jenny for doing that, sure, but that's the same criticism as Jenny has been friends with Wu for ages and doesn't see the same issues.
The issue with the channel thing is that Jenny is half the channel, ostensibly, because
How is
she's
that the
getting all that
case?
money. So then
I don't get
that
it.
is something that
Why is Jenny half of the channel? That's so crazy to me. Like the stream? Hey, let's fucking go. You're right. I missed it. My bad, guys. There you go. Like, why is she
you're
half the
attached
channel?
to as
What
well.
the fuck? That's so much.
And that's like, I think where I think a lot of people are lost with it. Like for me, I'm going to be honest, like the whole Jenny thing, I'm not really certain what's going on there. Because I just don't really know.
Nobody cares about Jenny, okay? Jenny has not been the main face of the channel, okay? The main face, once again, all right, is Beckett, okay? Just saying. Just got off the call with Beckett. What do you mean? Like a private call or a public call?
I'm not as fucked. I think like you mostly just had a bias for Jenny because of your friendship for Jenny and the fact that Jenny, for no reason,
Just get
was
to me
friends
on
with Brianna.
Reservoir stream? Okay. All right, okay. I don't want to cover this all night. So we'll just skip to maybe this will be a good sum up, okay? All right, so here is Sleepy, okay? Our very own Sleepy coming in. Let's go. All right, what's going on here?
How do you feel about making F-bombs feel like he's validated now?
Uh-oh.
Well, I think that's nice.
Okay.
Again, I've had like, I know, look, I've always had pretty good DMs with F-bombs,
Yeah,
and I know that F-bombs can be like
He's
off the rail.
Shaken, not stirred.
Like the stream.
True. Guys, please put a like on the stream, and please, if you guys would be so kind, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys being here, and you guys are the absolute best. I look forward to you guys every single day. Please consider donating, please. I need to feed my family. By family, I mean me, okay? I eat an entire family size worth of meals, okay? Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, sometimes, but like
F-bombs is like if you took a flesh simulator and crammed him into an old Jewish man.
Jesus.
Why? Okay.
That's,
If you're gonna make like sex analogies the entire time, I don't know if I want to sit there. Okay, all right, but we'll see. We'll see. It's
pretty
okay.
good. Come on. I'm doing
why?
alright. Watching, I guess, the fireworks.
True.
Oh, it's nice to have some old Twitch pro content going on.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, flesh
It's
simulator.
old, it's new. It's why is it
Never
that
mind.
every single time that we talk on a stream, it's about fucking Brianna?
The whole meal? Oh no, fuck.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask like a few things. Like, ever since like the it was a little bit after like the Baphomet video that you guys did, everybody kind of knew that like Cope and Seas wasn't just, at least everybody in commentary kind of was like, well, Cope and Seas is not just the channel. Cope and Seas, the author also does like all of this research. They do like all of this digging on people. And like for a while, I was getting people coming to me being like, "Oh, did you help Beckett with that?" It's like, no, I think I sent Beckett like a thing on fucking
not good. I'm kidding.
This old sector guy at one point. So people know that that's kind of like your secondary business with Cope and Seas. Like the stream's one thing, the digging is the other thing. So can you see why people are getting that conflated when you're ostensibly the face of Cope and Seas, but then also it comes out that there's Brianna Wu hiring the person that owns Cope and Seas, technically Jenny, to do work post any pack on supposed political enemies, while also sort of sending you flowers for a video prior when on an enemy that she's had for a long time, to the point that she would shit talk them in group chats that were leaked.
Oh no. Sounds like a scandal.
Okay. So, the Demon Mama video was Jenny's work.
Yeah.
Like the input from me was, you know, the editing and things, which is fucking terrible. But
I don't. I believe that.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. Like Tyler, like took the premise of your video and made it better, and then fucked it up.
and fucked it up. I don't know. It's kind of a weird one because we've kind of always been pretty transparent about the fact that that research is separate, right? If
kind of
research for, I mean, again, like we've done research for other creators.
Well, yeah, you guys had that big controversy, like.
Now I'm wondering, okay, if they do research. See, I'm wondering, okay, because I don't pay shit, okay. If you give me your research, I'll just take it, but I won't pay you, okay. Fuck it. All right, I do my own research, okay. I dedicate my whole day to this. All right, so yes, I am my own researcher. All right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys had that big controversy where you were being accused of like dealing with like hacked materials and shit from Jake Weddle's ex or something.
Yeah, I guess. That's when actually, like, so that's a really weird timeline for that, and that was very much when, because that was involved with morale, and
wait,
that was
what?
like
really
a really weird time because I was literally just going through a breakup, basically on that day.
With Stardust.
But yeah, we've sort of like after that we scaled a lot of things back and we're like,
ooh, this is juicy.
Yeah, fucking kill all this shit, basically.
Yeah, but I mean that was a big story at the top of our YouTube drama. Like people covered that. Like Cope and Seeth was, you know, receiving hacked information from Jake Weddle's ex.
Yeah, without going too far back into that shit, I mean, like, I don't want to dredge that shit.
No,
up.
I'm using
like,
that to make a point here. Really, I'm gonna go somewhere with it.
Okay, we'll go somewhere with the point then.
Okay, so.
Hey Foodshops, how are you doing today? I am doing alright. Today is a regular day, okay? By regular day, I mean another day of being unemployed. How are you feeling? Unemployed. Have you eaten today? Unemployed. I ate 2 bags of, like, snacks. What game are you playing? I'm playing Faster Than Light Multiverse. What are you watching? I'm currently watching your mom banging me.
When you have that sort of controversy in the past where it's like, okay, so there's Cope and Seeth.
You like caramel or mocha fraps McDonald's? Dude, I don't get my coffee from fucking McDonald's, okay? I get my coffee from my fucking coffee machine.
They do the streams with Beckett, and, you know, eventually we'll get a star in the chat, and we'll get dinos on stream if we're really good chatters, etc., etc. Oh boy, oh boy.
So no answer.
And then there's the other arm, which is doing the research. And then you have the controversy with the research where it's like you've already kind of had a controversy where it's like, well, that's you guys were dealing with some, you know, dubiously obtained info. And now it comes out that the person that ostensibly is the head of doing that research is working for somebody who is known since at least the era of Zoe Quinn talking about it, for being massively vindictive, controlling, holding every single aspect of somebody's personal life over their head. It sort of makes other people question, like, well, what the fuck is going on here, bud?
Oh no, true.
Like, you understand why people are kind of making a deal out of that, right? Because at the end of the day, you can't.
By people, Sleepy means me, okay? All right? Because the only person that matters to Sleepy is probably me. I'm kidding. And Zonia. Okay, I'm kidding. That's a joke. Okay, both are jokes. What would you do for work? Watching videos won't get you a job? What would you like to do for work? Well, let's see. I would like to do content creator stuff for work. I would love to do that. But, like, obviously, you know, that's not really possible at all, ever in my life, okay?
Can't separate you and Jenny. Like, you guys are
journalism. I mean, okay, on a serious note, I have a degree in computer science. So, obviously, you know, any kind of code monkey job, I'll be willing to take up. But like the thing is like, you know, it's the industry is so bloated and Trump fucked up the economy. So what am I supposed to do?
Together.
Kind of, but not really. I mean, again, like you can talk about the Jake Weddle stuff, but none of that stuff was ever released. Like it was.
Well, no, the
like-
the point is that the controversy stemmed from the fact that there was dubiously obtained material within a dossier that your company had collected, and now it comes out that your company are
Okay, don't go into detail. Okay, you're not allowed to advertise. Actually, whatever, it's not a big deal. Whatever. Okay, yeah. What are you watching? Okay, go back to the beginning of the stream. Usually before every single segment, I introduce the intro. I go into what I'm watching, okay? And then you can come back here.
at least
all right?
the employee who's in charge of assembling those is now working for somebody who, or was working, sorry, for somebody who has a past of using whatever they could obtain to the point where there are lawyer letters saying, you probably shouldn't do that. That's illegal.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is just like, what's a good way to put this? I don't know. This again, it comes back to, well, that's a criticism of everyone who's been friends with Brianna or done anything with Brianna ever. Which again, I'd probably agree with you over, but that's like a long-standing criticism of anybody who's held those relationships.
I mean, I've known so many people that have been friends with Brianna and
I
have
don't know
gotten
about that
completely
one.
fucked over. I don't know a lot of them who went and
No, it's not about it's not about associations like that. It's more about the fact that you didn't disclose this publicly, right? Like that's the entire point. It's never been about like whether or not you're secretly friends with Woo or publicly friends with Woo. It's all about like fucking like people don't know that you've had this kind of a conflict of interest the entire time. If you're in public and you're talking about your conflict of interest, then you know, fuck it, right? Like just whatever, okay? But this is just stupid. Like this is retarded. All right, disclosement. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
started digging up information on people for
Weapon
Brianna.
pre-igniter. Let's fucking go, dude.
I know of one, and that's Jenny.
Okay, I mean, that would have to come down to the nature of what that work looked like. So let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of a piece of work Jenny did, because I can talk about one of them. So Brianna, there was a stream with like, I think it was like Erudite, and Brianna wanted that stream cut into segments as a proof of concept to be used for something. So it was like an editing job, essentially. And we had, like, I should be clear about like sort of the ethics of this. In that private and personal information does not get given out to people just because they pay us. So I can understand like the kind of concern there, but at the same time it's like, well, we're doing kind of like digging through what is publicly available. Because we're not doxing people for money. That'd be fucking mental.
Well, yeah, but I mean, then at the same point, when you say publicly available, it still could apply to docs. Like if somebody's name's out there, then it could be. But I'm not going to harp on you for that. It's more just like, well, wait, if you're editing for Brianna to do something and Jenny's ostensibly signed to Rebellion Pack, is Jenny a registered foreign agent in the U.S.?
Wait, what? Okay.
No idea.
Probably not that far. Okay, I don't know. Okay, maybe she is. Fuck, registered foreign agent in the U.S. if she's being paid. No. I don't know if that's the. Oh, but $5,000 though. Like with $5,000. Wait, hold on, guys. $5,000. That's enough money, right? To warrant some degree of legal whatnot. I don't fucking know. I don't know where Sleep is going with that. We'll see.
She'd probably look into that.
We'll
That's
see.
fucking illegal.
Uh-oh.
Well, I don't know. I got no idea. You'd have to look at how like
To work for a pack as a non-US citizen, you need registered. Oh.
branded that. I've got no fucking clue.
I don't know
At the end of the
anything
day, it
about
sounds
that.
like Brianna like fucked your friend over pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm surprised that it's like I was telling Zonia yesterday when we were watching your stream. You know, I feel like if we gave you 3 more cases of beer, we'd find out who the fuck shot Kennedy.
True.
So,
True.
I mean, the video that you're working on is gonna have to have a lot of stuff on it, because like every time that more and more stuff, there's just more questions that I want to ask.
Or don't release the video, or don't make a video. Just say, hey, you know, I should have disclosed this way sooner. You know, I honestly owe everybody who who I criticize an apology, and that's it. Just be done with it. You don't have to make the video. Like, because now when you make the video, I feel like he's gonna get more backlash, right? Fuck, I might even give backlash. Because you make the video, right? You make the video, and you're gonna also profit off of the video, right? You're gonna gain subscribers, and you're gonna gain clout, and you're gonna gain money off of the video, right? But it doesn't feel right that you're gaining, you know, some kind of reward monetarily or clout-wise or indirectly just based off of your history. It feels weird. Like, right? Like, it feels weird to be gaining some degree off of that. You know, it feels like he doesn't deserve it, if that makes sense. So what happened, right? You gained money off of working with Brianna Wu. I don't know why he keeps on reframing it as like, oh, Jenny Matrix gained money. No, you did. All right, you did. Let's not mince words there, okay? And in addition to you gaining money, it's also like what? Whew, Jesus. So you betray your former employer? You betray your former shit? I don't fucking know, dude. According to UK law, you have to disclose sponsorships. Really? Man, fuck the UK, dude. Okay, like, I mean, fuck, I mean, they might be in trouble, but like, fuck the UK on that. Like, I don't, dude, that shit's stupid. Okay, I'm sorry, that shit's stupid. Kind of. Okay, that shit's kind of stupid.
But I know that you can't answer because
Okay,
of the
but
nature
part
of
of
the
the,
database.
part of the problem is like if
US law is the same disclosure? Okay, never mind. It's the best fucking law
it
ever.
feels like I'm really happy to answer the questions. It just feels like it's spun as like the most insane conspiracy it can be, and that's just like, I don't know, kind of frustrating.
Well, it's not a conspiracy, okay? Because I'm not, okay, like, from my point of view, at the very least, right? From my point of view, it's really just as simple as you had a clear conflict of interest, and you didn't disclose it during that time, in which all of these are all true, right? Like, does that make sense, guys? Like everything I just said is all true. You had a conflict of interest that you did not disclose the entire time. So that's it. That's the critique, right?
Because I'm trying to be transparent and I give like an answer for
It's
something. It's
not
like,
a-
well, you know, was Jenny
It's
a
not a
foreign
conspiracy.
agent?
Well,
I don't know.
I
I don't know
mean,
what the
that's-
registrations look like, so I don't know.
But that's a valid question when her NDA is through a U.S. political PAC ran by somebody who tried to run for president, and the treasurer is somebody who ran for Congress, and she's being paid by somebody who ran for, like, you understand why that's a valid question, right? Like, you're doing
Potentially.
like
I don't know.
she was working for the PAC. I know that on your stream you said.
Wait, but like, was she like, did she sign a deal? If she signed a deal, then sure. But like, if it's like, if it's not like a deal, right? Like, if it's not like an actual deal, I don't know how I feel about it. Whatever. Like, if it's just a tip, I don't
Said
fucking
that
know, dude.
she was paid through side channels. She wasn't
We have
paid
no idea.
directly through Rebellion.
I don't know anymore.
Because
Okay.
Rebellion
She was
couldn't do that.
she was paid by Brianna.
Yeah, directly because she couldn't be paid through
Okay, but
Rebellion
how?
because she's not a U.S. citizen. Yeah.
But how?
So that's
Was
the thing, is that you
a
understand why
contract?
this raises like a bunch of
Was there a
questions.
contract?
And the fucking worst part of it is
How?
that now Wick could just turn around and be like, well, look, Beckett's got no credibility. It was taking money just like I was.
Bro. And at least Wick was more honest than Beckett. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
I don't care, Sleepy. Sorry, like
She had a contract? Oh shit.
I just
Really?
like it's obviously
Damn.
different. And it's like you can still have like the criticism of like, well, that money was
What?
like
What?
a
What?
payment was given when the video
What?
was basically completed,
What?
but it's like I killed the entire fucking like content line. So
You-
I don't
You
I don't know.
killed you killed the entire content.
Dude, people were cooked for less, okay? People were cooked for less, alright? I remember somebody would breathe wrong, and the entire content space would, like, explode into a bunch of cum, alright? Like, somebody would look the wrong way, looked at Queeman the wrong way, and everybody would simultaneously explode into a bunch of cum.
Line that's
okay?
correct. But then about 6 months later, while you were known for being somebody who digs up information, you just let essentially your business and you being the massive face of Cope and Seethe, because when people think of Cope and Seethe, they don't think of Jenny, they think of
True.
Beckett sitting there with
True.
a cigarette.
like it had been
All
like
true.
largely
All
like
true.
separated out and the channel was doing its own thing.
Well,
Right.
yeah, but still the same business, correct?
All true.
Like,
Yeah, sure. So it's all under Jenny.
yeah, and so
Yeah,
you
so?
allowed
But you're
the
face
aspect
it.
of, hey, we do freelance research for people
Who the
to
fuck
be
is
tied
Jenny?
into.
Nobody cares
Now we
about
have
Jenny.
a long-term contract with Brianna Wu, which, like,
Mhm.
correct me if I'm wrong
Mhm.
here, but that
Oh,
call
correct
on
me if
that
I'm
recording,
wrong.
it
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
sounded like you went super soft on Brianna.
Oh.
Well,
Did that
okay. I mean,
paint-
I said this at the time. I wanted to
Oh.
keep Brianna in the call because I knew Mudahar and Keem were turning up. If I was going
Okay.
super soft on a Brianna, I would have like stopped that happening, right? Because she gets torn in, you fucking asshole.
I don't think so. She's allowed to get away with a lot of shit in that call that I feel
Okay,
like you would have called out.
Well, hold on. No, come on. It's a fucking
Is Beckett evil now? It's more like Beckett has been evil this entire time.
now recording stream, and she is sat there being, I don't know, criticize Keem and Mudahar because it's not me doing that questioning.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm the main focus though is that you were known as people that do the digging and the research and everything else. You still let your friend be tied to somebody politically.
Well, I don't own her, Sleepy. I'm not like.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean,
I
did you
don't
at
own
least tell
her,
them, be like, hey, you should like
Sleepy.
have?
I don't own her, Sleepy. I don't Sleepy. I don't own her, mate. I don't own
This
her. I
super
don't
looked
own
over
Jenny,
because this
mate.
can really fucking backfire. Because
Well, no, if I'm honest, I kind of stepped away from it and was just like, listen, it's your fucking.
To be quite frank, Sleepy, I frankly do not care. Oh, it's just online shit. Who cares? Just stop taking it so seriously. Don't you know that it's all about memes and the funnies? Oh.
In life, you want to go and do work with Brianna. I think it's a bad idea to do anything with Brianna.
Every one of my enemies are going to have their comeuppance, okay? Every fucking one of them.
Or be
okay?
friends with her. But that's pretty much all I can say. I can't control her.
well, yeah, I'm not saying to control her, but I'm saying that you allowed the entirety of your organization to now be tied to, well, you were doing
Comeuppings?
digging for
Yeah.
Brianna Wu.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Okay,
that's
well,
what people are
so,
going to
like,
remember.
Okay, well, like, regardless, that research site was
Regardless.
always separate. It was always made separate that Jenny did that work. That was kind of publicly stated.
God, you're such a sopping wet wanker, mate. Sleepy, you're such a sopping wet wanker, mate. Why don't you go back to doing your stupid fake work, Sleepy? Sleepy, why you digging your nose around the business that you don't belong to, Sleepy? Sleepy.
And I mean, short of me going, okay, cool. Well, if
Bottle of
you're
water.
friends with Brianna, I'll leave the channel. I don't know, man. Like, that's kind of a rock and a hard place ultimatum when someone's friends with somebody who you don't like.
No, trust me.
Unfortunately.
I get it. Trust me. I live with somebody who's friends with people that I'm not friends with. They're friends with people that I'm not friends with. Or that I'm friends with. It's just it's something that you have to work through and deal with. But when it comes to, hey, like this is a pack offering an NDA, this is a pack offering a bunch of things, which by the way, you've got to get paid on the side for. That it just seems like something that would be super fucking fishy from the get-go. And put your rep.
Not the super fucking fishy. Anything but the super fucking fishy. Oh no.
Reputation, not just yours, but Jenny's on the line. Like, or not just Jenny's, but yours on the line. Incredibly.
Well, again, I'd agree.
Becca had a reputation. Don't make me laugh, bitch.
Agree with you if I'd had like serious involvement with it, or like was trying to like again. So where I'm like coming up,
I know that you're saying
because like where I'm coming up against this is I clearly want to fucking talk about this. So it's like, well, it's a little frustrating. It's like, well, why wouldn't you come and talk
Well, you know, I remember when Becca told me, it's just like you and Lolly, see, because you talked about this, you can no longer talk about Lolly. Well, you know, if you apply your own logic to yourself, well, now that you've been personally associated with Brianna Wu, you can't talk about Brianna Wu anymore on stream. You can't talk about Brianna Wu in any of your videos because everybody knows that you're biased and now you want your clout for betraying Brianna Wu, you little piece of British fish and chips.
about this, Beckett? Why wouldn't you immediately like say anything? It's like, well, because this is like what at whatever point I said anything, these are the conversations that are going to happen. So like, it's in my interest to never have brought this up, but I think it's relevant. I think it's relevant to fuck Wu. So I'm just sort of
Pause.
trying my best to like talk about it, but like I'm literally sat here. It's like, okay, cool. Well, so let's like, is this the conversation that's just going to repeat? Like, regardless of what I bring out from the way that Wu acts from behind the scenes, is the same. I'm basically going to end up in the same conversation. So it's a real difficult one.
He said what?
Understand why people kind of don't want to talk about those things. It's because it is frustrating.
Beckett, I have a question though. Right now.
Beckett.
Okay.
Beckett, I have a question. Me personally, Slippy, have a question. I need the question answered.
Do you realize how you sang like, well, the research arm was separate. It's the same company, but it's a separate thing. I, don't oversee all of that. That's kind of sounding like Wick was saying with Progressive Victory.
No.
Like, oh, I just go to these meetings. I don't have any involvement with the other people. The other people, like Erudite does all the main stuff. I'm just here to, have fun and do goofy shit on the internet. Like that was Wick's whole thing.
So much for goofy shit on the internet, am I right? Turns out that I was doing the goofy shit all along. Isn't that so interesting? Beckett boy.
No, I don't think it is at all. Because again, this has no impact on me. I have no purse strings attached to it. This was sad.
Everybody just went over it already. You do have personal strings attached to it. This motherfucker Jenny is your BFF. Jenny is your BFF. I don't know what else to say. Like, what am I supposed to say?
But your company does. You're the face of Cope and Seethe. Nobody thinks of Jenny.
Okay. me, when Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, go on to destroy everything that I ever care about. Me being the CMO, okay, the Chief Marketing Officer of Tesla. Well, that's Elon Musk. That's not us. That's not us. That's Elon Musk. That's not the rest of Tesla. Has nothing to do with us. I don't know why everyone's so angry at us. I know why everyone's so angry at us. Okay, all right, man.
When they think of Cope and Seethe, they think of you.
Sure. Sure, but that research side is separate from the channel,
Oh,
and it's like a step back from it. Like again, okay, so like where I'm sort of coming up against things here, Sleepy, is like, well, I really don't know what I can say to actually like satisfy you, because it just seems like I can give you an answer and you're like, oh well, people can see it this way. Well, they can. They're just fucking wrong. So it's frustrating because it's like, well, I don't really know what answer I'm meant to give to that then, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to see it, if you want to see it as, you know, oh, that's a separate thing, it has nothing to do with me, like that's fine. But I'm just letting you know, like that's how the public in general is going to forever see it.
Sorry, say that again.
Beckett, we all know what you do in private, okay? We all know you and Christian have more in common, okay? Than just simply, you know, being human, alright? We all know that Beckett fucks his own mom. I'm kidding, okay?
Oh, I'm just saying that if you want to make the argument that like, oh, that ostensibly the research arm is basically completely separate from the streams and everything, and so therefore you're so far removed. It's like,
By the way, the reason that's not possible is because, but the reason why that excuse can't work is because this isn't like the FBI, this isn't like the CIA, where several arms sometimes don't even communicate with each other, where there are several departments that are literally like the farthest apart it can be from one another, and they just do not know what the other department does, right? Or whatever separate is. That's not true in this case. In this case, this so-called business is two people, all right? Unless they have, well, the editors, well, the editor, the Beckett, and Jenny Matrix. This isn't like one separate arm doing something else, right? This is the same fucking thing. This is the same compartment, okay? All right, fuck. Where's Queeman? Why isn't Queeman jumping on this?
you're still a company, you still have everything else. You're essentially the mascot of the company because you're not making any money off of it.
Mhm.
But still, like it does kind of strike me as the Wick thing, and I'm not expecting like you to be like, oh God, you know, I need to come to Jesus at this moment and do this or some bullshit. I'm just pointing out that, you know, kind of fucking given parallels. Like if Microsoft, you know, is embezzling a bunch of shit from the fucking mobile division, nobody would say like, well, that was the mobile division. That's the mobile division. Everybody would be like, fucking Microsoft did this. Fuck these people.
Yeah, that's correct. Like, not even Microsoft gets away with it, by the way. So yes, that's true. And any other institution would take collective punishment in public, all right? Any kind of institution literally take collective punishment, right? Yeah, like any boss will tell you this, any coworker, any customer will tell you this, everybody will tell you this. Nobody ever like associates a business separately, like between Jenny Matrix and Beckett. Like, why the fuck would anyone grant you this, right? Like, why the fuck would no one's granting you. There's no reason. There's no reason to grant you this amount of charitability, right? Like, that's ridiculous. You probably don't even grant other people. Wait a second. Wait a second. I just had a brain blast moment, okay? Hold on. I just had a brain blast moment, okay? Where was this charitability when Beckett was criticizing PV? As far as I'm concerned, PV was criticized as one entity. Wasn't it? Wasn't PV criticized more group-like, more than, oh, you know, most of PV was fine, but it's just like these few bad actors in PV. I'm pretty sure it was criticized as a group, okay?
Well, again, no, not really. Like Jenny and Woo's friendship was incredibly public. My feelings on Woo were incredibly public.
Their friendship was incredibly public. Them, Jenny being paid by Woo in excess of what, 7,000 was what you said on the
I
other
don't know the
stream?
exact figures. Yeah, it was like a decent amount. It was a long time.
Yeah, it was north of 7. It was north of 7,000.
Wait, what? Okay, so it went from 500 to 5,000 to 7,000? Wait, what?
That's not a unsubstantial amount of money that
saying
your
it is.
company assigned you.
Holy shit.
Okay, but now, okay,
What
but
am I
here's
doing
here's where
wrong?
we're at now. It's like, well, your company. It's like, well, it's not my company, right?
No, but you're ostensibly like you're the Ronald McDonald of fucking Copen's Heath.
Oh, dude, sleepy. Okay, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just think that this is.
Yeah, no, it's going in circles.
This
It's
is
fine.
a circle because I just disagree with you. Like,
Yeah.
unless because the alternate
What?
side is if I was in
7,000?
control of the research and the contracts and who
Ninja.
we did them with and everything else, I'd agree with you, but I wasn't and I'm not. So I can only tell you what happened, and to the best of my ability, I don't even know what the fucking research itself looked like because I wasn't involved with it. So it's like you can have those fucking you can have those criticisms, but it's just like, well, I can't really answer them because they're not. I don't know, in my mind, like fair criticisms. Could you just asking me about shit I wasn't involved in?
Yeah, most of Sleepy's criticisms are also probably questions I would ask as well.
Okay, yeah.
Minus the legal bit.
I mean, I guess there's not going to be like a concrete answer on like any of that because you didn't know what was in the dossiers. You didn't know the type of research or anything. But like, and I'm assuming that even if you did, you probably wouldn't be able to disclose. I do think, however, if it was, the one thing I will say is that if it was on like if it was like, oh, Brianna was having you like super dig into Hassan's past or something like that, that should be something that should be disclosed. Brianna's paying people to look into different larger creators, even if they're larger creators. Like I still think that should be fucking disclosed at some point.
Yeah, sure.
If only because it's fucking Brianna Wu, a political operative, and not you working for fucking Now Recording on a dossier or something.
I mean, sure. I can. What's a good way to put this? I don't know what the ethics around this look like from my perspective, because if you were asking me this about another content creator who asks us to do work, I probably wouldn't give you the answers either. And I don't know if I accept this of I hate Woo Woo's a piece of shit.
I'm not saying it because Wu's a content creator. I'm saying it because she's a political operative. That's the treasurer of political.
Wu is kind of a weirdo though. I don't know about weirdo. I think more like malicious actor. All right, she is like a villain. She fits the role of villain pretty well. All right, I'm not gonna lie. All right, like a little bit too well.
Action committee. There's a difference between FPS Diesel and somebody who's ran for Congress twice.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
But again, I don't know what that looked like because I wasn't involved.
Yeah. All right. That's all. Have a good one back.
Love you, Sleepy.
All right. Have a good one, Resi.
All right.
Yikes.
Aiko?